Next thing we need to look at is what we mean by the capacity of a channel. Now, given that you have a certain amount of attenuation that can take place, given that you have a certain amount of noise that is going to be inherently present in a system, how do I determine that so much of data can be carried by my communication channel? Okay. Now, here there are a number of people who worked on some very interesting results. So, we will just take a look at one or two of these. So, what we want to look at here is we want to calculate the data rate. Now, data rate typically is measured in bits per second, given that you have a certain bandwidth for a channel and that there is some amount of noise. So, that is, we need to find out the relationship between the data rate and the bandwidth of the channel. Now, it has been found by a person called Nyquist that data rate and bandwidth are directly related to each other. Now, let us look at what is meant by bandwidth of the channel first. Now, bandwidth of a channel is the highest frequency minus the lowest frequency it can carry. Now, remember that every single transmission media that we use has its own characteristics in terms of its bandwidth. That is, it will be able to carry only frequencies of a certain frequency. So, the highest frequency it can carry minus the lowest frequency it can carry is referred to as the bandwidth. So, with the given bandwidth, what we are interested in finding out is, given that this is my bandwidth, say W is my bandwidth, given that my bandwidth is W, how much of data can I transmit? This is what we need to identify. So, here we have a very interesting result which is referred to as Shannon's formula. Now, what this formula tells us is, given that I have an SNR, a signal to noise ratio for a particular channel, and W is the bandwidth of the channel, it gives me the capacity of the channel in terms of these two figures. So, C is given as W times log of 1 plus SNR. Now, SNR here is not measured in decibels, but measured as a ratio. So, as a ratio, if I have SNR or signal to noise ratio 1 plus SNR, I calculate, take the log of that and multiply that with W, which is the bandwidth. So, W times log of 1 plus SNR gives me the capacity of the channel. So, this is a formula that is used to identify how much of data rate can be supported on any given channel.